getting some lunch. It's a rough day today. Feeling some pain, feeling tired, so I had to just take my time and just, oh man, just breathe, rest, relax. And I started to take a class called Emotionally Healthy Spirituality, it's an amazing class. And let me show you. So there's 3 books. It's a 9-week class, and basically I was doing this. You do this like every day, and it's like you take 2 minutes of silence and just clear your mind, and then you start reading the little. It's a quick like a Bible verse and stuff, but it is of course like a Christian, right? Based course, because it talks about the Bible. There's Bible verses, but what I wanted to say about this is that, I mean, this stuff is something that any person can benefit from, because basically what this is talking about how we have all these emotions and all this stuff that we're stuck with, right? Like our past, our past experiences, or even like from our the way that we grew up and all those things, right? And there are things that are passed along from generations to generations, right? So what happens is that a lot of times we don't even know why we behave the way we behave, right? Because maybe people took advantage of you and stuff like that. So then anytime, somebody, it appears like somebody is trying to, take advantage of you. And maybe it's not the case, but because you've suffered that before in the past, now you're very sensitive to that. So, man, it's just, there's a lot of good stuff in this. And like I said, of course, yeah, it's a Christian-based. There's a video and stuff, but we're doing it at my church right now, the church at Lake Mead, and they're on Lake Mead in Warm Springs. And week 2, I've gone through week 2, and then I still got to read this book. But just today, right now, let me show you this. There's a psalm. So this was a reflection today, right? It looks like this, day 2, right? Which is today. And then silence and stillness before God, 2 minutes. And there's a scripture reading, Psalm 139, 13, 16. This verse, Psalm 139 is very profound. And I'll give you an idea. For you created me, you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. And then over here it says, where is it? Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. This is, and I'm just reading this devotional thing, and this is some good stuff, because like a lot of times we there's this thing that I see often, right? And of course everybody believes what they want to believe, but I see this thing where especially on social media, like people kind of making some live videos and stuff, and just kind of saying, oh, like, prove me that God is real and all these things, right? And one of the things that I've seen is that God is love, right? And then just as I kind of learn to like do things, and I have things in my mind, right, that I want to do, and then I keep pressing on, and I'm consistent, and I keep pushing, right, and I can achieve things that I want, right? And it's just like contrasting that with like, God, right? Like if I say that He's the creator, right, and He created all things, and He created us, right, and He knows who we are, and He created us with a purpose, right? And that purpose, like, why isn't that purpose, right, happening, or it appears that people are mean or evil or whatever, right? But that's because a lot of times, we are reacting to the past. And when we live that way, when you live like in the past, your mind is in the past. Oh, people have done this to me and stuff like that, right? So then now that's your reference point, right? And you're living your life that way. But if we are not to live that way, we are to live like, okay, like the past is the past, and we are to deal with the past. But how do you do that, right? Like how do you deal with those things? And how you deal with those things is like through meditation. You take time to really like see, okay, why do I feel this way? Why am I hurt by this thing? Why am I so angry? Why am I, and like all these things, right? Like all these feelings and emotions that are stuck there. And we tend to say, well, that's who I am, and that's the person that I am. And we kind of accept that, right? And we just say, well, I'm just that kind of person. I'm an angry person or impatient. And it doesn't have to be that way, right? And I mean, God created us, right? Like in His image, and of course, you might not believe in God, but the thing is that, I mean, I do, right? And what I see is that even if I do believe in Him, right? Like I've seemed to like struggle in life, and because I'm trying to figure out life, and what I see now, like this stuff, I started taking it, and I've been in a process for like the last 8 years of my life, going through stuff and meditating and all those things. Like this stuff is basically, I mean, I'm on week 2, and everything that's in here, like that's kind of the process that I've been through. And this is basically like kind of like a confirmation of like how I've dealt with things, and how like I'm trying to be a better person, and I'm trying to change, and I'm because I've been in pain for so long and stressed out, and I didn't see that I was causing chaos around me, right? Like I was causing just my family, right? Like they saw in me, somebody that's, it's not the person that I am. I know who I am, right? But the pain and the suffering and all these things, like it just seems like it changed me, right, as a person. And it shouldn't be that way, right? And now as I work on my life and things, like I'm making progress. And I basically done it on my own through prayer, meditation, and all those things. Through so that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make is that when again, everybody has their beliefs. I do believe in God, and all my hope and everything, it's in God. And everything that I've done so far on my own, trying to figure things out, like it's a process, right? And it's a process that's right here. Like I didn't know this stuff, right? And as I'm going through it, I'm like, oh wow, like that's what I did, some of the stuff. And I'm not saying that I know it all and I don't need the class. Like I'm actually taking the class because I need it, right? But as I go through it, I'm like, oh wow, like confirmation of what I've done, where I'm at, and I feel like so I got this guidance, right, that from God, but because I didn't know where I was at, I didn't know what I was doing. So as I go through this, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like God was showing me, and it was taking me on this path, and it was helping me, right? And now, I mean, I haven't even gone through this, but I've done some major progress on my like spiritual life and with my family, and now like I'm happier and all these things. And I'm looking forward to continue to do this and learn more. But I highly recommend this. Like if as a person, again, just anybody should take this, because you're dealing with emotions, right? Like we all need to deal with our emotions, and if we don't, then now we're reacting to life, right? And like that's not a good way to live. A good way to live is us being in control of our emotions, our thoughts, and everything that we do, right? And then we should reflect that, right? Like as a person that I am, I want to transmit that person. I want everybody to see that person. But if you don't do stuff like this, right, like now you're enslaved to your emotions and to the life that you're stuck with, right? And you can get out of that. You don't have to be there or stay there.